Welcome back everyone to another week of finishing school. This week we're going to talk about Seren. Personally, I think she's one of the most difficult bosses because there's a lot of variance, a lot of RNG when it comes to the map attacks, her attacks. It can be difficult to predict stuff and there aren't many safe spots in the fight. So you have to learn how to navigate multiple patterns at a time. As always, remember to assign your roles. We updated some roles to include like hard adversary, or baldrics adversary, their practices and stuff like that. So make sure that you are getting pinged for those. As always, make sure that you're checking your scouter to see if you're ready. It'll tell you literally if you're ready or not. Specifically for hard Seren, you need 200 sack in P2. P1 is 150, but you know, if you're at 200, you're already there. Seren has one primary mechanic. This is the gauge. Get used to it. The gauge can fill up and be completely full based on how much you are getting hit. So if you are getting hit entirely, you will be locked. And it's not your traditional, like the lock above your head. You're going to be like in a yellow cage of light and unable to do anything for 5 seconds. It looks like this. And you are completely stunned, you cannot heal, you cannot run away, you can't iframe during it, etc., etc. So, to mitigate that, you want to make sure that you are ducking. We learned about ducking in Black Mage, how important it is in P3. This boss, all her attacks, not the map attacks, but almost all of her attacks can be dodged with ducks. So keep a lookout for that icon. Anytime this is here, it indicates that it's duckable. So in P1, you have pillars. Think back to phase 2 of Black Mage. The spikes, these are pretty much the same thing. They're going to be floor indicators on the ground, and then it'll pop upwards. The difference is it is very, very fast. And instead of giving White Curse, it gives you 2 seconds of blindness. Blindness is the status where you're attacking and the misses come up instead of your actual numbers. In terms of her attacks, she has the rush. This is pretty much the same as like the Damien rush or any sort of other fight that has the boss rushing forwards to knock you back. This attack specifically can be ducked, or if you're just completely away from her, you'll be completely fine. Or if you have a party member with Showdown, that one Mercedes Unicorn skill, Party Shield, these are untouchable skills. They give the untouchable buff, which means certain attacks, certain touch attacks cannot hit the party member if the boss is inflicted with it. If she has untouchable on her, for example, Night Lord does Showdown, the party won't have to worry about this. This is her stab. Pretty self-explanatory. She stabs in front. As long as you are ducked or behind her, you should be all good. She also has an attack similar to the Warrior Weapon Aura. If you play Warriors, you know exactly how this works and how it travels. If you don't, I'll give you a quick rundown. Warriors will pop that skill every few seconds. They automatically get this wave of energy that shoots directly forwards from their character. Same thing with the Seren, except for she actually has to cast it herself. When she does this animation, she will slice basically right in front of her, sending out a beam of light that looks like a banana. We usually do banana as the call out for this attack. This is the most dangerous attack in P1, specifically because it has multiple ticks. Your character only spans about like that much. So if you're literally standing right there, you're gonna get tick, 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 tick of damage, and each one gives gauge and HP damage. It's very dangerous to get hit by this, or like multiple hits of it. She has her clock attack. These are technically called rays. She'll summon a ton of rays radiating in all directions. I just call it a clock because she shoots in like most of these numbered positions, like 11, 1, 3, 5. It's very easy to duck or dodge these because you just stand in the white spaces away from them. This attack is one of the first attacks that we got to that doesn't actually give gauge in hard mode, hard or normal mode, but it does give gauge in extreme. And it can also blind you. Finally, we have the meteors. Think back to Black Mage again. These function exactly like the whites, except for they don't come out in the same pattern. These are sporadic. They're kind of like old Darknell meteors, gloom meteors. All of them give 5 seconds of blindness, and they're technically not duckable because they are going to come straight down from the ground to the ground. But if you have dark sight, you can bypass these. I think you still get gauge in P1. We'll talk a little about ducking meteors in P2 with dark sight later. So this is a little cheat sheet for everyone. If you need to reference this page, this shows all of the attacks that are going to give gauge in P1. I didn't include the clock because that's only for extreme. But just remember pillars, her rush, her stab, and her weapon aura all give gauge. So in terms of strategies to deal with P1, I find that there's so much variance in this phase in particular. So it's good to come in with a plan for your party. Depending on how your party feels, you start here and you can jump straight to her and bind her in the middle. I personally don't like that, especially because I have summons. A lot of summon classes or a lot of classes that have a lot of buffs that can't be sequenced need a little bit of time to prep. So what most people will do is they will load in on this left side. They'll pop all their buffs and wait for Seren. She has 2 options of attacks here. She can either banana or rush towards you. Usually if it's a banana, it's followed by a rush, so she comes this way. Duck those, and then as she gets to where the party is, prepare to burst. I find the best way to get off my burst securely is preemptively hitting one of my will skills. Think back to Black Mage again. These are the skills that when you hit them, you won't get the debuffs of blindness or whatever for a few seconds. So if you were standing on top of a pillar, if she were to do like a clock or something, these will skills will protect you from that blindness, so you can actually get your bind and your damage off. Once she's on the left side, you guys have her bound. Make sure you're bursting. Remember to coordinate with your party whether you're originating first or regular binding first. And then we're going to talk about stalling. This is one of the first cases where we don't want to immediately send into the next phase so that we have more time to get our burst back and prep for phase 2. What that means is at approximately 20%, I say closer to 15%, all of y'all should stop attacking. Make sure that you are not sending it, which means going straight into phase 2. Always stall and wait out for your burst to come back up, approximately 2 minutes. During that stall time, you're going to have to play around the map. There's going to be a lot going on, and it's very overwhelming, especially in hard and extreme, because the pillars come out very fast. The meteors also come down frequently, and she has her own attacks, right? Like the aura, the rush, the jab. It's a lot to deal with. You need to find the strategy that's best for your class. I know some specific examples are like Buccaneer. They have their ground rush. They can duck at the same time as them using the ground rush. Or Magicians, they're able to telecast and do this weird thing to like avoid the pillars and get behind her. It's very important to know what your class can do so you utilize all your options, since there's, again, a lot of variance in where these things can appear. I like to put my fountain in the middle. Some people prefer, like when they're bursting, so they leave it on the left side. I just like to leave it in the middle because I can use all of this space and then come back to the middle whenever I need a heal. In general, you should also be keeping Seren in the middle because the bananas, these weapon auras, can shoot all the way across the map. So if she were on this left side, like this example right here, she shot a banana, it goes all the way through. So everyone who is, like on the ground standing up is going to get hit. But if she were in this middle area right here, only shooting the banana left, you have all this space on the, if she were shooting to the right, you would have all the space on the left to use for safety. Another trick that is very important to learn is knowing how to get gauged in the air. Whenever you are holding blink, whatever you're like one tick away, your gauge is about full, and you want to gauge, you blink in the air above where a pillar is, and you will stay in the air for the entire duration of the stun. Assuming you don't get hit by like multiple pillars on the same spot or multiple meteors where you're standing or floating, you should be fine. This is this is a really valuable technique because, again, she can shoot bananas. If you were stunned on the ground, you would get hit by every single tick. Also, if she comes towards you and does rushes or pokes, you have no way of getting out of that because you're completely stunned, right? So you have that airspace to stall those attacks and only, hopefully, not get hit by the pillars and the meteors that are coming down. All right, before I keep going, does anyone have any questions about P1?
Yeah, I have a question about I guess like the bursting strategy that you mentioned. So like why do you wait to 20% to like stop?
Yeah, good question.
Because like how much is like a normal party like really like how much are they doing that like you would wait to 20%? Like would you not want to wait like stop at like 5% or
Yeah, I give myself about 15%, 15 to 20%, because I have summons that keep going, and a lot of classes have summons that they, like you need to turn off specifically to make sure that you're not continuing your damage. If you guys get to 5% and your summons keep going, you're gonna accidentally phase.
like the ones that have like origin summons or whatever?
Yeah, or any place down summons, she's still here. Like you haven't moved out or anything, they can still hit her.
Okay.
It's more of a safety thing. If you're comfortable, you can go down as low as 10%, stop attacking, just move to the right side and desummon everything. But, we're still learning, so give yourself a little bit of breathing.
Yeah. Okay.
One thing I should also mention about phasing here is once your burst is up, once you guys should be sort of chipping her, or the summons keep kind of going. Once your entire burst is up and everybody in the party is ready to burst in P2, you will have one person bind her. Usually you need to use your will skill just to make sure you don't get blinded, so that you guys can send without having to worry about her still giving gauge. Before literally this recent patch, when your gauge used to carry over into P2. And, since it's not really a mechanic now, I don't have to teach it. But what we used to do is preemptively gauge before we go into P2, make our gauge completely clear so that at the start of P2, you won't get gauged immediately when you go in. Yeah. Does anyone have any other questions?
Also, if what is like I guess for like a kind of comfortable clear for the party, like what is the what would the timer generally be at like when you leave P1?
Good question. A good test for most parties is I would do a damage test in P1. see what everyone's full burst looks like if you are able to get to 15% HP and your burst is still going or your summons are still going, so you can keep doing damage, theoretically not actually doing damage. That's generally the safe point, but you know, a lot of people are also soloing, so
Oh, like they're like so like people are one burst in P1.
yeah, that's
Oh,
that's like the beginning goal. In the future, when you're
yeah.
soloing, you know, you get her as low as you can. If you don't have great DPM, you wait for burst. If you do have good DPM, you have to practice working around all the mechanics. Good question.
Gotcha. All right. Yep. Thank you.
Yeah. So, starting off with phase 2, the gauge kind of, she gets mugged out a little. She has this color wheel that surrounds her, but the gauge portion is still the same. Like as it fills, it goes up, you see more yellow. This gauge indicates what time it's going to be. You see a little hand right there? Time is a very interesting mechanic in this fight because it determines what form she's in. There are 4 forms: midday, sunset, dusk, or midnight, and dawn. These pictures probably don't make a lot of sense now, but once, you know, like we talk about each of the different stages, they'll start to click. Specifically with this midnight stage right here, this blue, dark blue bar, this determines if you are even able to stay in the fight. What that means is gauge was important in P1, right? You made sure not to gauge so that you guys didn't get stunned and lose lives just from like everything stacking on top of each other because you can't move out of stun. In P2, not only do you have to worry about not engaging so you don't get attacked, yada yada, you have a collective, assuming this is a 6-man party, approximately 30 gauges as an entire party before you get kicked out of the fight. If your party gauges approximately 30 times, you guys are, again, going to get kicked out of the fight immediately, no matter what type of damage you're doing. Like if you are super close to clearing and somebody gauges, you guys cap out, you will be forced to leave. This will be indicated by this section right here, this dark blue section, that will decrease. It'll get smaller. The smaller it is, the less gauges you have. The bigger it is, the more gauges you have. You're gonna come in with this like relatively big section. Just remember to look at the blue. If it's tiny, be careful and start trying not to get gauged. So we have these 4 sections right here, these lines that are in the middle of all of the times of day. These indicate FMAs. FMAs in Seren are a little tricky. As you can see in this GIF right here, these pillars of light will come down onto the map. They're never going to be on the far right or far left. They'll just be part of like the 5-6 pillars that are close to the middle. One of those spots where this entire party is jumping to is smaller. The pillar doesn't go completely to the floor. It's smaller than the other ones. Your goal is for your entire party to get to that safe spot where the pillar that doesn't completely go down is. I'm just going to call it small pillar. Where the small pillar is. You guys do this by generally staying in the middle when you notice that it's about time for FMA. When this dial hits approximately here, 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 and here, you guys move to the middle and call out her the short pillar's position relative to where you are standing. So if it's slightly left, just say left. If slightly right, say right. If it's close to mid, say mid, etc., etc. This can get a little tricky because there are a lot of combinations of stuff that can happen. You will clear this test and get into the next phase if your entire party stands under it. You will also clear this, not get gauged, if everybody in the party iframes. but a lot of people don't have that luxury. Maybe they're not liberated. They're a class that doesn't have an iframe. So if one person iframes and doesn't let the party know in advance and the other members don't have iframes, the other party members will get killed and they will get 1 gauge per person that is hit. You will, quote unquote, like fail the test and lose 1 of your lives. Except for the person who iframed. There's, coming back to P1, she has the exact same attacks, they're just in different colors. This is the rush, and this is the jab, poke, whatever you want to call it. All of these give gauge still. Also, she has the raise, the clock. This does not give gauge in normal or hard, but it does give gauge in extreme. So let's talk about midday. This is the first yellow section right here. You're going to always start in midday. There are mines that will appear on the map. They're going to be that yellow circle that explodes. Basically, don't stand on where the yellow circle is. The explosion will do the damage and give you a ton of gauge. If you need to gauge, it's a great option. If you want to make sure that you're not gauging, don't stand on these. Pretty self-explanatory. They give a little bit of blindness. There are also crossing lasers that will appear on the map. They'll always form some type of X across the map. The position of where the laser lands isn't always the same, so sometimes it can cross a little closer to the right side, sometimes it can cross over closer to the left side. It's your job to be sure that you are standing in a spot where there are no mines, obviously, and where the crossing lasers do not touch. We're going to talk a little about positioning later. These are very, very dangerous. Arguably the most dangerous attack in midday because they give ticks of gauge. As y'all remember from the banana, each tick can build up gauge very quickly. And on top of that, there's going to be a screen flash. What that means is anytime you're standing under the laser, get hit by the multiple ticks, your screen is going to go white and you're not going to be able to see anything. It's not great. I like to use blink sometimes. I think a lot of people kind of forget air stall options, but I use the blink. If there's a laser that's like right on top of me, I jump, I won't get hit by this bottom portion and it goes away and then I can come back down. She also has a laser attack where she does diamonds around her. See this diamond indicator? She's going to shoot a laser all the way across the map. This is arguably the other most dangerous attack. I think the diagonal is the crossing laser is a little more difficult. Some people argue that the lasers are because the lasers give a separate type of stun to your regular gauge stun. These are 7-second stuns that can stack on top of the regular gauge stun, but more importantly, they put you in a vulnerable position because you cannot heal, you can't maneuver out of things, and you see from this little demo right here, the crossing lasers are going to touch them, the bombs are going to touch them, Seren's coming close to them, they're going to get poked, so, you know, triple whammy. The easiest way to dodge this attack is by ducking or floating on top of her using a blink. Basically, just don't be where the laser stands in the air. All right, that's pretty much it for midday. The attacks are pretty similar to P1 because they're all yellow. Let's turn to triple flash, or let's turn to sunset. This is the phase after the first FMA. If you are bursting right at the start of midday, you should have your burst up right at the start of sunset as well. Go in, bind, get your burst off, and then start dealing with these attacks. This attack is called the 1-2-3 triple slash. I just call it 1-2-3 because she does it in a successive in succession. She'll have a black crescent around her for all 3 of these attacks. That's what indicates 1-2-3. All you have to do is duck. during the time that she does the black slashes. So duck, you can stand up slightly in between that to if you need a reposition or something. Duck again when she does the second black slash. Stand up again, reposition or attack, and then she'll do a final black stab, kind of like cutting it. You need to duck that as well. These are one-hit KOs because they are doing 200% HP. Be very careful of them. Meteors and pillars also come back in Sunset. We talked a lot about variance in V1. I don't like Sunset in particular because these mechanics come back and they're really difficult to predict. Pillars can stack on top of each other. Meteors can be in close positions where you don't have a lot of space to dodge in between them. These will give a crap ton of gauge both. So be very careful about the meteors coming down and the pillars. About halfway through, she'll usually do this twice during Sunset Phase. She'll summon 2 walls. Think back to Phase 1 of Black Mage, where the walls kind of popped up and you couldn't use the far corner anymore. Same thing conceptually, except for you are left with 3 quadrants where you can fight. So if this image were a little extended and on both sides, you would have this green space over here to fight. There's a firewall there. This middle space to fight, firewall there, and then this one on the right. I generally like to put Seren, or stand in the middle, so Seren keeps her aggro relatively centered. The firewalls can pose a lot of issues for classes that are melee. They don't have great range. Maybe she's on this side of the firewall and you can't cross the firewall, so you can't do anything if you're on this side. If you are all standing in the middle, though, all you need to do is dodge her attacks, the meteors and the pillars, and she will she shouldn't move too much if everyone is relatively centered. These aren't a huge deal if you get hit by at least 1 tick, but 2 ticks will kill you, and they do potion lock. After that, FMA happens again.
Is it like potion lock where, is it like Varys Hill potion lock where you can't heal like at all, or is it like,
yeah,
can you dispel it and stuff?
I believe you might be able to dispel it.
Or like does Fountain work?
It's not a permanent potion lock like P2 Will or Vihila. It's a temporary potion lock, but like if you're locked and you get hit by 50%, you're not gonna be able to heal anything after that, right?
Yeah. Okay. Is it like one where like Fountain works or no?
I believe Fountain should work. It bypasses. I was gonna talk about this later, but in Sunset.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in Sunset in particular, you get half your healing. So if you were to use a power elixir, which usually heals for 100%, you're only going to get 50% HP back. Same thing with Fountain. If you were to use a Fountain, it's like, 30%? You're only going to get 15% per heal of the Fountain. So be very, very careful in this phase to, not get hit.
Okay.
Yeah. After the FMA happens, we're going to go into Midnight Phase. Again, this is the phase that determines if you can even stay in the fight or not. We're not going to worry about this because literally nothing happens. This is a quote-unquote free part of the fight where you can burst. If you're bursting, if you burst it at the start of fire, you should have your burst up relatively close to midnight, either starting or during the FMA. So once you come into midnight, you can bind and burst. She doesn't have any dangerous attacks because nothing gives gauge. It in fact decreases gauge the longer you are in midnight. So if you got out of fire phase with a nearly full gauge, your gauge will deplete during the time that you are in midnight. Some attacks that are annoying, but not a big deal. She'll do this explosion around her. This gives blindness, and these little pillars that I think can stun you for a tiny bit. Not a huge deal. Again, don't worry about this phase. Nothing happens. You are safe. After this phase, there is Dawn Phase. arguably the most difficult phase in the fight, especially if you're one of the classes that doesn't have great mobility or options to escape very quickly. She's going to have a shield that pops up. And instead of Black Mage, where the white shield pops up, you just do damage and you decrease, or you completely get rid of the white shield, and then you can start attacking the main HP bar again. This shield stacks on top of her HP. So this will determine how much she heals after this phase. If you have a lot of shields still here, let's say white HP bar, all of this section will be added on top of the red section. But if you were to break the shield, pretty unlikely, most people don't, you will continue to do damage to the red shield. The shield will increase over time as you're in this phase and as you're getting hit. So you need to watch out for every single attack. Every single person in here should try to limit the amount that they are getting hit. Again, some mines will pop up pretty similar to midday, except for these come in this giant bubble, and you need to pop them. You can use mobility skills such as rush or teleport. Essentially, if you see this, you teleport and you keep going so that you don't actually get hit by it because it reverses, so that it can do the explosion animation and it's out. Up to like 6 mines can be summoned at once in the fight, and they are really, really annoying. They also give gauge. There are pillars that get summoned in random spots. They're not as sporadic as Fire Phase or P1, but they are annoying. They give a little bit of stun as well. Just be very careful of them. On top of that, there are these crabs. Again, this GIF indicates that it's going to hone in on somebody in the party. Somebody has random aggro, we don't know who it is. Generally, if your entire party is standing on one side, the crab is going to come towards y'all. Once the crab sees that somebody is standing on top of it or moving past it, it will pop up. So it's weird, right? Like, we call this a crab even though it's a deer animation, but it looks like a crab when it's crawling like that. It'll pop up, give gauge, and do super knockback. What that means is sometimes you can get hit by this and get flung across the map. So be very cognizant of this. Try to move in a safer position so that it follows you. Or, like if your entire party is on one corner, you guys, once you see the crab, try to scoot away from where it's going to pop up. On top of that, there are deer. In normal, only 1 deer can get summoned. In hard and extreme, up to 3 deer can get summoned, depending on how low her HP bar is. These deer cannot be attacked, so they are annoying. They pretty much walk around, usually the center of the map, until they find somebody to have aggro. They'll step back a little, launch their antlers forwards, and cause that person to get super knocked back. They give a lot of gauge, and because, super knockback, you get stuns from pillars, you get reverses from mines, all these things stack on top of each other, and it's very difficult to limit how much you are getting hit in this phase. Therefore, you guys are increasing the shield, making her heal after this phase. I like separating these mechanics out individually so that I know what to do for every scenario. For deer specifically, you can either stand behind her, or right before they launch their antlers upwards, they'll do a little chargeback. You can move away from them during that chargeback time and be completely safe. Again, this is a little cheat sheet for phase 2. These items all give gauge. Everything else you don't have to worry too much about. Just know how to dodge them. The mines, the crossing lasers, and the laser in midday. The rush, the stab, these are in every every part of the day. The meteors and fire pillars in sunset. And in dawn, pretty much everything gives gauge. Okay. So P2 is a little tricky. It's a little tricky to navigate because there are four parts of the fight that you need to know. Generally, when you come into P2, everyone, like we stalled in P1, everyone should have their burst up. So the first thing you should plan on doing is bursting. Everyone's going to get spawned in this left area right here towards where the portal to leave is. Use this location and duck as needed because she's going to do two types of attacks. She's either going to rush or she's going to shoot a laser to this left side. You can dodge both with duck, so that's the safest option. Unfortunately, if you get a mine there, not great, but Otherwise, she'll scoot left, maybe walk over. It's not as guaranteed. I find more often than not, she will rush or laser then rush to the left corner. Once she's at this corner, you bind and you burst. Use your will skills as needed. So in this example right here, there's a mine right here that gives blindness. That's going to cause my bind and all my damage to miss. So I hit will skill right before. The popping of the mine, bind her when she's here, and then get my full damage off. You can also use all this space on the left side. The reason why we don't stand in the middle of the map is because these crossing lasers. They're very unpredictable. They can cross, in any segment of the map. So your best options are the left and right corner. Usually I've seen parties use the left corner the most. The dealer's choice. It's more annoying having to cross through the middle to go to the right side for you guys to set up. Use all of the airspace here as well. You see this guy, he is dodging the mine by blinking in the air. Put your fountain somewhere near there. A lot of damage is going to happen, so make sure that you guys have some source of healing. And in the off chance that you need to gauge, you should limit how much you're gauging, but if you are really close and you're concerned like, I'm going to be stunned for the next part of the fight during an FMA, I need to gauge so that I can go into the safe spot for the rest of my party. You can use this right side to quote unquote safely gauge. If she's aggroing everybody standing on the left side, the only thing that can happen on this right side is she can either shoot a laser, a bomb can appear, or the crossing lasers will hit you from this position. One of the crossing lasers. I find it relatively safe to gauge like that, but again, really depends on how Seren's feeling that day. I've had a lot of good luck, sometimes even staying here while Seren is attacking because, she moves around, she doesn't attack me, she attacks the rest of my party, etc., etc. That's gonna happen again. Same thing, if everyone is standing below the short pillar, they're safe. If everyone is iframed, no matter if you are standing under the short pillar or outside, you are safe. But if one person is iframed, everybody else is maybe in the short pillar, maybe in a different spot. Anybody who is not iframed during that time will lose a life. I should also mention again, the gauging right before phasing into the next segment. If you know that you are relatively close to gauging and you are concerned about, oh guys, I might gauge here, I might not be able to do the test, you let your party know to iframe. You say, hey guys, I'm gonna gauge here, iframe the test. Everybody's gonna hit iframe except for you, and you just take the loss. That is way better than letting all of the people in your party lose lives, because every time you die from the test, each person receives 1 gauge. If 6 people die, that's 6 out of your 30 gauges already. Fire phase is tricky. Everything is going to come down all at once, so just be ready to move as you're bursting. When you load in, assuming that you guys are standing relatively close to the middle to catch the short pillar, she's going to be somewhere in the middle, likely. You guys bind and burst as soon as the phase starts. And just a reminder, your healing is halved in here. So anytime you're using a power elixir, you only get 50% healing. Anytime you're using a fountain, you only get 15% healing. After she's unbound, she'll start doing her different attacks, including the 1, 2, 3, rush, jabs, on top of all of these things that are happening in the background, the pillars and the meteors. That's why you need to make sure that you are utilizing all of your space. I find that a lot of people who are starting to learn this fight only use the middle because they have the fountain here, right? You think like, oh, it's secure, you know, like I can heal up all my damage. That's not the case. Because it's half healing, if you have a full party of 6 and you only have 20 times of healing on the fountain, you can deplete your fountain very quickly. I find that learning how to position away from her is probably the best thing to do if you're not comfortable in this fight. What that means is if she is on the right side, you go to the left, and vice versa. If she's on the left, you go to the right. You should be very cognizant though when the firewalls come up. The firewalls are going to come up approximately like 40% of the way through the part of the fire gauge, and then 80% or 90% again. So just remember, try to stay in the middle during that time so the rest of your party doesn't have to worry about crossing these firewalls to actually get to Seren or get to a safe spot. Assuming that someone's standing over here, they only have this space to dodge the pillars or the meteors. And vice versa, if someone is standing over here, they only have this space to dodge the meteors and the pillars. But if you had this whole middle section, you all were standing in the middle section. It's tricky, but you can dodge everything. Test happens again. And we get to midnight. You don't have to worry about this. Your gauge depletes. If you were following the same burst order, you should be able to burst again in this phase. The test can happen very quickly, depending on how small the section is. Test. Okay. Now we get to the arguably hardest part of the fight. Deer phase, dusk. Or, yeah. I like to split my party up, and everyone has a role in the fight. So as you can see, this otter is split onto the left side. All the other otters are on the right side. This person is the holder. What that means is they will try to grab Seren's aggro either by attacking her often or, you know, like whatever have you. They're going to gather Seren on one side of the map. So the rest of the party only has to deal with the other map attacks, including the bombs, the pillars, the crab, and the deer. On top of that, the people who are not holding Seren can split off to do 2 tasks. You can either be a designated popper, or you can hold deer. Each person assigned to pop the bombs should have some sort of a mobility skill and or iframe that allows them to go past these bombs and pop them in succession. There are going to be at least like 2 bombs that appear once and up to 6. So if somebody were to teleport straight across, for me, I'm a Corsair, so I have wings and I have target lock, which is a 30-second iframe. I can hit target lock, be iframed for a few seconds, and glide all the way across all these bombs, popping them. If you have a quick rush, that works as well. The rest of the party that's holding the deer will try to get up to the 3 deer to attack them. They don't have to be in this corner per se, but getting the deer away from the holder and the people who are clearing bombs is very important, because if, say, the deer were turned left and hitting this person who's trying to pop a bomb, they're going to get flung, and if the bomb pops on top of them, they're also going to get skill reversed. Both of them give gauge. Can be very, very dangerous. This is a more accurate representation of the fight.
How long does it take to pop a bomb? Like, how much health do they have?
Oh, yeah. None of the attacks outside of Seren, or you can't attack anything in this phase outside of Seren. The bombs and the deer do not have an HP bar of their own, and they cannot be targeted. It's a field thing that just happens, so all you need to do is walk on top of them to pop them.
Oh,
Like
okay.
across them, yeah.
So you don't hit them, you just like, you have to bait them and explode them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I should also mention that the bombs do trail you. They're not very fast, and they're generally in the middle area, but for some solo fights, you can get a crab in this section, you can get deer all in this section, the bombs come towards you, Seren comes towards you. That's like 5 different attacks that give gauge and debuff statuses and stuff like that. It's really hard to get out of. Just be careful. Depending on how comfortable the party is with bursting, I do recommend bursting in this phase. Your other option is to hold off burst until midday comes back, but that means, you know, she's gonna heal a crap ton in here. You want to lower the white shield as much as possible during this time by attacking Seren, so that she doesn't heal as much. Generally, if you don't have an iframe, as in Jenny iframe, I don't recommend you bursting. Just kind of stay out of the way. But everybody else who has Jenny will, the holder is going to let them know, like, hey guys, let's burst. I'm going to bind. They're going to bind Seren. Everybody else is going to come with Jenny iframe popped and burst over here for only the 10 seconds that the Jenny iframe is up. Once the Jenny is down, you move out. Make sure you don't get hit. It's a lot. I don't know how to give a great, like concrete example of how this fight is going to go. The deer phase can be tricky. The deer phase can be easy. She can aggro the correct person. She can aggro the wrong person. The deer can be scooted towards the right people, etc., etc. Too much variance to know. Just know how to deal with each individual attack. And, like Black Mage, once you split everything up, you can learn everything together. Also, if you die here, it's a great time to stay dead. I should mention, even though we've been going through this, if anyone is dead, or if anyone is dead, lost all 5 lives, they should leave the map entirely. Anytime a corpse, like this GIF right there, right before they hopped onto the safe spot, that person is on a gravestone, they had to respawn. Anytime a person is on a gravestone and everybody else is under the pillar, you guys will still get you guys will still get hit by the FMA because it's considered a death. They're considered iframe for the death. So if you lose all 5 lives, 8 in extreme, get out of the fight entirely. Like, go back to the main start room, because you can fuck up your party by being the person who is iframed by death.
Like me.
Mm-hmm. So this is the drop table for this fight. Gives a lot of money. The Mitra's Nodestone. This is another Arachnid's Reflection-esque skill, except for it follows you. It also gives that pitch crystal to trade in for pitch down the line. Gives white jade boxes. More importantly, especially if you're soloing and you need to accrue a lot of daybreaks to tap for spares, it gives daybreaks. What a lot of people do this fight for is the emblem. This is part of the pitch set. The Mitra's Rage, and you get to select which, like in Reboot, it's not really a selection because it's going to auto-select for your class. But if you were in Reg server, you get to select which emblem to claim. It counts towards the pitch set. It's not a starable item, so once you get it 3-lined potential, you are done with it. In Extreme, you also can get a chance of an exceptional hammer. This is sort of like the Black Mage one. You tap it on an item, in this case the face accessory, the Zerk, and you will get bonuses, stat bonuses. All right, I know that was a lot. Does anyone have any questions?
I had a quick one.
Yeah, sure.
For the deer phase, do you get extra value out of using a sense during the shield there, or is the shield just the flat amount of HP? I wasn't sure if it was like shields in other fights, where it's like good to break them with the ascents.
Ascents yeah. I didn't cover ascents in here. Ascents are really important in this fight for deer, especially because of what you're talking about. You can ascent to lower her shield. It's not gonna break it or like do direct damage to the red HP bar, but you know, like any damage you get off to Seren from the ascent will be added to her shield and like decrease it.
Yeah, I guess the thing I was wondering about with the ascent for that is I know that like some ascents come with damage reductions, and that because the ascents pierce the damage reductions, they do more damage. I wasn't sure if Seren's shielded HP had a damage reduction to it. Or,
I don't think that's the case. I have to imagine it's exactly the same. Or at
It
least
doesn't. So it's just like the regular HP bar,
Okay.
except that it's just extended. Sorry to interrupt,
Yeah, you're good. Good question. Does anybody else have questions about this fight? Okay, great. Let's meet at channel 5 for practice. Anyone who wants to come, anyone who wants to experience it, feel free. Okay, now that everyone is here, are we ready to practice?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna go into practice, hard practice. So realistically, if we were to, you know, like be in a real fight, real party, everyone would be splitting their origins accordingly. In this case, since we have 4 people, likely one person does origin in phase 1, you stall, yada yada. 2 people can do origin in the start of phase 2 in midday, so that you get a ton of damage off. 1 person will do it in fire, and you know, it rotates back during the midnight burst. In this case, who would like to origin first? Okay.
Isn't he just gonna kill the whole thing if he origins?
Do you like origin and then bind and then normal bind, or do you like normal bind and then origin?
Good question. It really depends on the person who's doing the origin in P1. For example, I know a lot of beast tamers, because they don't have great damage with their origins, will bind, like regular bind first and then origin.
Okay.
Jacob, do you think you can
Someone
origin
else.
without sending through?
No. Someone else has to do it. I was mostly joking. Gimel?
I mean, I could
You
just
wanna
do
do
it. Is it origin as you go in?
So when we spawn in, sorry, I don't mean to, sorry, Hui, you go ahead.
Oh no, it is.
No, yeah, you're good.
When we spawn in, she'll be a little bit over to the right of us. Some people wait for her to dash over. I personally don't enjoy that, because very often she'll throw a banana at you, which is very inconvenient. So I prefer to just like jump over to her. She'll usually do the radials first, and just origin or bind, whatever is optimal for your burst rotation.
I think in this demo, we should let her scoot to the left, because, you know, like, for example, if someone had like
Pillars.
a Kana in the party, they would put domain at the spot that they spawn in. You don't want to waste all that summon, whatever buffs.
Fair
Kanas
enough.
give
Yeah,
right
we
now.
can wait.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay, so wait for her to dash over, and then either bind or ori, whatever is optimal for your burst rotation.
Right.
We don't ori. It'll die.
I'm gonna put on drop.
Or actually, no, we can get in drop gear. We put on drop gear.
Yeah.
Let me do that.
All right.
Okay, I'm good.
Let me know when everyone is ready.
Right. Oh, do fams matter for like aggroing her in this, or does that like not?
You get
Or is
chipped
that
so
just, like,
much
a
that
beneficial?
like healing fams aren't even worthwhile to run. I just run your damage fams, IED, attack.
No, I mean for
cost.
like the aggro.
Oh, no.
Oh, they won't
In
do
the
anything.
beginning.
No.
No,
It
it's
doesn't
not like
matter,
that
okay.
range. Good question. All right. We have the origin order. Are y'all ready to go in? Okay.
Yeah, I'm good to go.
But so the order means that like we like, not, like the third burst we origin. Or the okay.
Yeah, we're all gonna burst together. I'm not really gonna burst here, but like we would all burst together. Only that person who was designated the first origin will origin. I have my summons here.
Okay.
Go ahead and origin. As you can see, we are we have her on this side since she rushed over. That's a pillar right there. I can cleanse it with the will skill to not get inflicted by the blindness. Someone bound for me. Okay. She is at 25%. Let's start slowing down just a tiny bit. 19. Good, good, good. Get her to approximately 15 or so. Okay. I'm going to place the fountain down mid so that everyone can use it. Banana right. That's an important call out to do. Say banana in which direction the banana is headed. So people on the right side in this case know that a banana is going towards them. Clock. Banana right. That's what you want to do with the banana. Since she was standing mid, it will only go to the right side. I'm pretty close to gauging, so I can try to demonstrate the blink gauge as well. Good, good, good.
These pillars go up so fast.
Yeah, they're pretty unforgiving. You get used to it though. It just takes practice.
Yeah.
Right here, I gauged in the air. Since I knew that I was going to gauge, and I got killed, but since I knew I was going to get gauged, I can jump into the air and blink preemptively where the pillars spawned, so that I only got hit by pillars and meteors instead of actually having to deal with Seren. Is everyone's
Should we
burst
clear her out now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2 minutes.
Okay. I'm going to bind here. So I'm, like for example, I would be the designated person to do the second bind. Chip, chip, chip. All right. We're going to spawn on the left corner towards where the portal is. Once we are spawned in, try to duck. She's going to either rush or laser. Duck when you come in. She rushed over here, laser. Nice. So I'm going to origin for us. I'm not going to try to send a lot of damage to make sure that we see all parts of the fight. You origin, you do your burst.
I'm not bursting, but you can go, Hui.
You bind. Oh, my bind missed because I was in darkness. Can someone bind, please?
I'll bind. Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
Or I didn't have bind. You can see these crossing lasers here. Anytime you get hit by them, they give a ton of gauge, so use your airspace to stall. The bombs are a little slower to pop, so they're easier to manage. Oh, and I got hit by the laser, but I would be usually ducking that.
Another good tip, and I came in late to the class, so I'm not sure if we already mentioned this, but if you can't see Seren and you're trying to just avoid her, it's better just to like duck if she's not on your screen, because she could very easily just laser you across the map,
Right.
like now.
Laser.
Oh, okay.
Duck. Yeah. Okay. Let's try to pull her left. Keep her left for most of the party.
Gotcha. Sorry.
Just stay ducked. Come to the left, stay ducked. We generally fight her here because the crossing lasers can be very unpredictable. So you have all of this space, all this airspace as well. Duck to blink, to stay in the air, to, like move to a small spot that...
Oh, sorry. So we put in fountain on the left side?
Yeah.
I mean...
Well, it doesn't really matter, but yeah, I generally like to put my fountain like right of the portal. All right.
I got engaged again.
She is going to test in approximately 20, maybe 15 seconds now. So let's start gathering middle and ducking. So you see those lasers, just watch out for those. She's going to test soon. Let's try to get in the small pillar spot. Okay, it's middle, so just stand here. Yep, and we passed the test, no one died. Okay, could the third set of folks please origin? We'll demonstrate that burst. 1, 2, nice. The origin stopped it. I would put my fountain mid here, and yada yada, we burst. I'm not going to really. But as you can see, the pillars are still spawning, even though she's bound. So be careful and watch out for those as you're attacking. 1, 2, 3.
Also, those dashes have lingering hitboxes. If you stand up too fast, you'll die. I have done that many times.
Rush. 1, 2, 3 again. 1, 2,
2,
3.
3.
Let's start gathering mid because the firewalls are about to come up. Watch out for these meteors though. Firewalls are right there. Remember, you cannot cross those unless you have an iframe.
Yeah.
1,
Or a TP.
2, 3. Go ahead. You can stay dead until about test.
You know, I've never noticed the firewalls.
1, 2,
2.
3. As you can see there, she didn't actually move. Oh, and I'm engaged. She didn't actually move anywhere during the 1, 2, 3. Sometimes if she's aggro to some people in the middle or like straight on top of her. Okay. So for this test in particular, Nick, I'm going to need you to leave. Yeah, so to make sure that we are actually clearing it. But test is about to come up in approximately 20 seconds or so. 1, 2, 3. Just keep an eye on the gauge. It's about to hit the blue. Firewalls again. Test soon. Stand on top of her. Good, good, good. Your gauge is going to get depleted in this stage. She doesn't do anything crazy except for that one explosion attack that blinds you and these mines. Generally, we would burst here, but, you know, for the same damage.
I'm curious to how much my ascent does to
Let's test
your
it.
face, to be honest.
Get ready for test. Get ready for FMA. Right.
On me?
Seren. All right. I'm going to hold Seren on the left side. Let me try.
Okay, that's fine.
Go ahead and.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead and scoot to the other side, and if you can.
I'll pull the deer.
Yeah. Crab coming your way. Seren's mid. Oh, bombs. So as you can see on that side, Jacob was popping bombs as he moved, as he jumped.
I'm trying to pull deer over, but it doesn't always work.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just don't like you.
Seren mid again.
You're not the
Be careful she
deer
crosses. A deer is following me, so I'm just gonna try to play it safe.
Oops. Sorry. Oh, I'm gonna gauge. Whatever.
We broke the shield, but obviously during a real fight, we wouldn't be breaking it. In fact, it's like regenning right now. So any of that white is going to recover into the HP bar.
Gotcha.
Okay. I popped some bombs there. Just a quick demonstration. You don't need to stand on the bombs very long.
Oh, I'm gauged.
Yep. I'm going to try to keep aggro on this side. Oh, it's okay.
It's okay.
And around this time is usually when we would burst again, assuming that the party is comfortable with bursting and has Jenny iframes. But otherwise, you just wait for the next.
And or any long class iframe.
Yeah.
If you're a Freud's class, you're chilling.
Yeah, if you can get Freud's at this time. I almost messed up and was Freud's iframes for one of the tests and had to click it off.
Oh no, you can be iframe for the test
She's
now.
mid,
They
be
patched
careful.
it.
Oh, you can? I thought being iframe killed everybody during the test.
No, as long as you're in the right spot, you don't.
Oh. Oh,
You
that's
just
good to
won't
know.
Test.
die. Right,
Oh,
right, all the
right.
way right. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
Sorry, I didn't catch that. Laser.
No, you're good.
And we start again with this phase. I'm going to wait for the crossing lasers to appear, but there will be 3 crossing lasers once we get low.
She
Should I
lied.
burst again?
Duck?
Should I
Below
burst again?
10% or something?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Oh.
Oh, it's my Ori, huh?
Oh,
No, I didn't worry during the last phase either.
Oh, you guys both worried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay!
That's pretty much
Yay.
Seren. It's not as terrible as it was before, and it's way less RNG, but you still need to know how to move around during this fight, especially during fire phase, where things are stacking on top of each other. You have limited space because of firewalls, etc., etc. A lot of people who also like are learning deer phase for the first time can get in a lot of trouble with the crabs, the pillars that spawn on top of like Seren poking the holder, and like having to go in the middle to get bombs. It takes a lot of time to learn this fight, so practice, be confident in your skills because you are going to get better, and always try your best. Any final questions?
Oh, I think that was well explained.
Yeah, it was well explained. It's just like so like seeing on the PowerPoint, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then like going in, I'm like,
Right.
it's a lot faster than what it looks like.
I think the examples from this PowerPoint are actually GIFs pulled from like normal. If you go into normal right now, the pillars are gonna spawn the same, like in the same spots, but they're like twice as slow.
And they do way less gauge.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because like I think I think I might have gauged like 6 times the P1.
Yeah, it's
was bad.
very, very hard.
Because like I just kept getting hit by the pillar. And I was like, oh, that's cool.
You're a blaster, right?
Yeah. So like I could like if I was better, then I would just like bomb weave.
Right.
But like I yeah.
Yeah, you're
Exactly.
still learning, so-
I think I would just simply dodge it, but
right.
It takes
I
practice.
I
You'll
was
get
not
there.
doing it. Yeah.
Don't beat yourself up over it.
Make sure you're
Yeah.
consulting your
I mean,
Discord.
like I was able to get like Vihilla down with like the positioning with that. So like if I could do that, I could do this.
Right.
But it's
Yeah,
just,
I mean, grandest bosses are also generally a lot newer, and therefore, like, the mechanics are a lot more. So, like, I wouldn't beat yourself up over taking a while to get good at it. Like, it takes a lot of practice.
yeah. I mean, this is the first time entering it, so
Right.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, you'll get there. 100%.
Okay, with that, I don't think we have any more questions. So thank you everyone for coming to finishing school. Apologies for the short notice. Next week, we're going to do Kalos, and then the week after, we're going to pick off with Kaling. Hope to see you all there. Goodbye.